Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com. We're going to take a look at some more stocks that are in play or are setting up. Okay, so we're keeping our eye here on REXX. Okay, notice here there was this candle that formed well above the upper Bollinger Band. That was here on the 18th, and then the candles worked back into the bands. That's what usually is what happens. So when you see a candle free floating above the upper Bollinger Band, and this is also a black candle forms when the stock is up on the day, but it closed below the open. The open is up here. This is the close. So that's a red flag telling you that even though the stock was up on the day, the bears were actually in control into the close. So this is just a signal when you see this form that the candles could work back into the bands. That's what's happened. They've come back and they found support here off the 300-day simple moving average. You can see four of the last 5 days have been closes above that level. The EMAs have been tested and there have been bounces. You notice here there's this bounce off the 200-day simple moving average and off of EMA 13 and then EMA 8. And notice here how there's higher lows off of the 61 low, higher low, and now another higher low with an inverted doji here. This is a gravestone doji. You know, I call this a doji. It's close enough. It looks like it to me. And what we're looking for now is a break above this descending resistance line. So if there's a break above that should be the signal that it wants to go up here and test this upper Bollinger Band. If there's a break below the 300-day moving average and that turns into resistance, you can see the 200-day moving average tested and the middle Bollinger Band. As long as the middle Bollinger Band holds, this uptrend should continue, but what we really want to see is the 300-day moving average hold. We're thinking that this is setting up and that it could bounce any day now. It could bounce tomorrow. We're going to be keeping an eye on it. Look at the low volume bars here. That's what you want to see on a pullback. That this is showing that the sellers have tired. You want to see an uptick on accumulation distribution. Notice down here the Bollinger Band, or there was this crossover on MACD to signal the start of the run. There was a crossover here up here on FASTO, a bullish crossover, and FASTO is in the bull zone, and RSI reset and is in the bull zone as well. So there's juice to run. So keep an eye on REXX. What we're looking at is this 15-minute chart here. So each candle on this chart represents 15 minutes of trading, and notice that FASTO closed down here at below 20, and so it's oversold into the close. And what we're looking at is this tight channel. Notice how for the last 2 days it's been trading sideways between 75 and 80, 80 high, 75 low. Right now it's in about the middle of the channel, and what we're looking for is a break above 80. If it can break above 80, that'll be our signal that it's ready to head higher. It's testing right now. Notice how all these moving averages have converged at the same level. If you look back here, they're all basically at the same level. So we want to see a break above that, and then that will be the clear signal that, like, okay, it looks like it wants to head higher. You want to see it bust through the upper Bollinger Band. Right now, if it drops below this 100-day moving average, test the 200 and gets below the 200, then it could really drop. So we don't want to see a break below that level, but it looks like it's setting up, so keep an eye on it. All right, another one to look at is VNR. Okay, VNR is a stock that has been doing very well. It's got RSI here in the 50 to 70 bull zone, so there's still is more room to run. Notice the last run it did go above 70. FASTO did close above 80, so it did close overbought, but you can see back on this last run it did push higher at this level. What we're looking at now is basically our target has been this 200-day simple moving average, and there's been multiple white candles in a row, multiple green volume bars. I know it may be difficult to see, but I have these 3 circles here, and they represent the gap up opens. So there's actually been 4 gap up opens in a row, but bearish 3 gap ups reversal pattern has formed. So if you look up here, you'll see this is the pattern, bearish 3 gap ups. Now this doesn't mean that it's going to definitely pull back tomorrow, but it just means that the chart is getting frothy. Once you get these multiple gaps up, it's just telling you it's starting to get ahead of itself. Now I've seen stocks keep pushing higher, so I'm not saying that it's going to pull back right away. I'm just saying that it's starting to get frothy with this, and with FASTO at 89, but there is some more juice to run on RSI. So we're thinking if it can get past this zone right here, then it could run up to the 200-day moving average. The 200-day simple moving average is always our climax profit taking zone. Notice how the candles hit that, pulled back, hit that, pull back. So, we always look to lock in gains at that level. Notice there's an increasing volume pattern. You might see a climax spike like that. If you see a big climax spike and it hit to the 200, move to the 200, and it doesn't break above that and it closes below, that will be a red flag. Notice the MACD bull crosses signal the start of the run. The P-star bull flip. ADX shows the bulls are in control. Okay, so there's VNR, and then let's look at BLDP. Okay, BLDP is a stock that we were looking at, and we've been following. It made a nice move, and then it pulled back. Now RSI and FASTO are both in the bull zone. There was a bull cross on FASTO, so now they've both reset, and they have room to run. On the pullback, ADX stayed bullish with plus DI above ADX and minus DI, so that's good. What happened is that there was a close above this. There was a gap up open and a close above the 100-day simple moving average. And then the candles once again work back into the bands. Notice how there's a close above the upper Bollinger Band. And then this candle here on the 23rd filled the gap. And then now after filling the gap, now the candles are back above the 100. A black candle did form today, but it was another close above the 100-day simple moving average. If that level holds, we're thinking it could push higher. If the 100-day simple moving average breaks, there could be a drop down to this middle Bollinger Band and 50-day moving average. If the 50-day doesn't hold in the middle Bollinger Band, that could signal downside risk. So it's looking like a new uptrend is starting since there was this break above the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day moving average over here and on the 11th of January. And so it looks like it could be working its way back up here to these this 250 level. We'll see if it continues or not. This is a big resistance zone in November. It's hitting it now. Notice how there multiple times this was hit. Was holding this level was a big support level for and now it's becoming a resistance level. So notice it's been hit a couple times and it's failed to break. So we'll see what happens. Keep an eye on BLDP. It could keep going, and yeah. So it does have a good uptrend going. Okay, so now look at PRTO. Okay, now this stock here is setting up. It has this. There was this big gap down back here in December. This is a 2-month chart. There was a gap down. This is the bottom of the gap. This is the top of the gap. And then notice after it worked its way to the low, it's just been in this super tight channel for many days. And what happened is the finally notice that this dotted line is the middle Bollinger Band, and it finally on this day closed above the middle Bollinger Band, and slowly it's been working its way higher. And so, we're just keeping an eye on this. We're going to see if this can possibly make a move back up to the bottom of the gap. Notice PSAR here, parabolic SAR, could get a bull flip. If it hits 223, that could flip below. There hasn't been a parabolic SAR bullish flip since this drop, so that would be a bullish development. If it can get above the bottom of the gap, then the 50-day simple moving average would be the target. As you see, there's not a lot of resistance in between this gap level. Notice that FASTO is in the bull zone. What you want to see here on RSI now is at 28.56, its highest level since the drop, and so it's slowly been working its way up. If it breaks above 30, that will be a bullish signal that the chart is heating up. And there was already a MACD bullish crossover on both time frames, so keep an eye on this ticker. And the other thing is it closed right at the top of the channel. Notice how the close was literally right at the top of the channel, the same level as these other candles. So tomorrow it needs to close above that level. A close above should be the bull signal. These are super tight Bollinger Bands. The chart is definitely wound tight. So keep an eye on this one. MNGA is the next ticker. Okay, this stock here is a material stock, and it has an uptrend going after a tight Bollinger Bands. Notice the Bollinger Bands are really tight here, and then there was this gap back here. Notice the gap, and that gap got filled on this candle with the move above the 50-day simple moving average, and since then it pulled back and held that level, and now it's pushing forward. And the key level to break now is going to be this 100-day simple moving average at 58. If it can get above that, it could run up to 68 and the 200-day simple moving average. So we're looking at the 100-day being tested, and if it breaks above, it could run up there. Notice the giant volume spike. We always like to see volume spike wick at the bottom of the chart, because many times that signals the big players have loaded for a move higher. We always follow the volume. One thing to look at, Fasto is at 82, so it's above 80, and so that remains to be seen if it can move higher at overbought levels. And then RSI is at 63, so there is still some more juice on RSI. Okay, let's look at the next ticker. That's going to be FNCX. Okay, FNCX is a stock that is thinly traded. Super thinly traded. This probably isn't most people's cup of tea. Just gonna analyze this super quickly. Notice this falling wedge pattern here. How this descending pattern where it's in a downtrend, and then the middle Bollinger Band has been this like key resistance level between the candles have been working their way between the middle Bollinger Band and this 50-day simple moving average. Notice how that's been the top up here, and then back here, the upper Bollinger Band, the 50-day simple moving average. Well, that was tested again today, so that got tested. Now there needs to be there was a close above the middle Bollinger Band that needs to hold, and then there needs to be a break above the 100. If it can break above the 100, it could run to the 300. We're not sure if it can. This is a really strong downtrend. So, and the upper wick does show profit taking. These thinly traded stocks are easy to buy, but they can be tough to sell. Notice the declining volume pattern. Many times when you see that, when it gets really small like that and it's getting walked down, that you'll see a climate, a bullish candle, a bullish volume bar signaling that it's set up for the bounce. Okay, and now look at the MACD down here. Bullish crossovers on both MACD. Okay, so now the next one here is XTNT. XTNT is another stock that is thinly traded. It had this huge drop. Notice all this multiple red candles in a row. There was a bounce today, and there was a close above the EMA4. Notice all these closes were below EMA4, and then today there was finally a close above. So if EMA4 holds, there could be a reversal here. So we're keeping an eye on it. Notice the EMA8 was hit, and it pulled back. That's going to be the next level to break. So if we can get above 44, it might run up to the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average. Notice this was the first green volume bar in multiple days. Okay, so this is an ugly downtrend bounce play chart. Yeah, so keep an eye on that. And then another one to look at is GLF. Okay, so GLF is down here bouncing. And it's came off the bottom here. We were charting it off the bottom, and it's continued to climb higher, and now it's hitting this key resistance zone. It's hitting the 50-day simple moving average and the middle Bollinger Band. It hit that level and closed just below. That's the green line and this dotted purple line. We want to see a break above that and this 100-day simple moving average, and then notice this descending resistance. They're all converged, so this is a major resistance zone. If it can get above this 158, 160 level, then it might run higher up to this upper Bollinger Band, or possibly get a new uptrend going. Because notice when the middle Bollinger Band broke, there was this strong downtrend. Now we're looking for it to turn into support and a possible new uptrend starting. Keep an eye on the volume. The volume's really low, so it's due for a volume spike. And then look for MACD bullish crossover. If it fails to break the 50-day simple moving average or the middle Bollinger Band, that will signal downside risk. For RSI and Fasto, you want to see them both break above 50. Okay, and the other one, the last one to look at, this is a OTC play. Just keep an eye on this one. This is one of the marine shipping sector stocks, TEUFF, and it just caught my eye here. We've been just watching it. We're watching all the marine shipping sector stocks, and including the over-the-counter stocks. And this one closed above the middle Bollinger Band on the 23rd, and then now it's held it for 2 days in a row, and it's hitting the 50-day simple moving average. If it gets above the 50, it could get moving, because notice how it's been resistance for a couple months now. So keep an eye on it for a potential break above the 50. If it doesn't happen, it could be in a holding pattern. So I would just wait for a break above that for the bull signal, and then it could get moving and hit this 100 and 200. You know how these shipping sector stocks like to run. Okay, if you like this video, please check us out at MyChartCoach.com and our YouTube channel at MyChartCoach.com. Thank you.